Welcome to the New York State Kinship Navigators May Lunch and Learn. My name is Cheryl Abbott, and I'm the regional coordinator with the New York State Kinship Navigator. Our lunch and learns occur once a month, usually on the third Thursday. Today, we're joined by Isaiah Santiago and Kadri Serpas from Families Together in New York State. This session will be recorded. During the session, everyone is on mute. If you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation. Everyone who's registered will receive a copy of the PowerPoint and the link to today's webinar. The webinar will also be posted on our YouTube channel. For those of you joining us today who are not familiar with the New York State Kinship Navigator, we offer information, referrals, and education for kinship caregivers, prospective kinship caregivers, and professionals all across New York State. You can connect with us through our warm line at 877-454-6463. We're open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can also access information and resources through our website, nysnavigator.org. Our website has over 70 cited fact sheets and various resources for across New York State. We also offer an online chat that's open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. And of course, our email address is on our website too. I would like to thank Times Union for their media sponsorship of our February, March, April, and May Lunch and Learns. Their support helps us to reach new audiences with information about the Kinship Navigator and our partners. And just on a final note, our next Lunch and Learn will be June 18th. The presenter is to be determined. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Isaiah and Kadri.
Good morning. My name is Kadri Serpas, and I am a family policy advisor for Families Together in New York State. And I also work with the Office of Family and Children Services as their Native American Services Family Policy Advisor. I'm going to hand it over to Isaiah for introduction.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Isaiah Santiago. I am the Youth Leadership Manager for the Families Together Youth Power Team, where I work with an amazing group of young leaders from around the state. And I also overlook the Youth Leadership Council, which includes around 35 young leaders from across the state who's working together to make change in New York State. And we are so excited today just to go over Families Together, some of what Families Together do, and some of our mission statements and the things that we are pushing to do around New York State for young people, for families, and for the greater community of New York State. So we have a presentation for you guys today, which will go over some of the responsibilities and the actions of Families Together.
Okay, I'm going to start sharing now, Isaiah. Okay, can you see my slide, Isaiah?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Just trying to move a couple of things. Okay. All right, so at Families Together, I know Isaiah gave a little bit of information. We are a family-run organization that represents families of young people with social, emotional, behavioral, and cross-systems challenges. We offer credentialing body of the Family Peer Advocate, FPA credential, and Youth Peer Advocate credential. Youth Power is the Families Together statewide network that is run for and by youth and young adults, and hosting the Youth Mental Health Advisory Board, in partnership with New York State Office of Mental Health, New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports, and the State Governor's Office. Our mission statement is to ensure that all children and youth have the support they need in order to succeed. Youth Power is a New York State network of young people aiming to create safe and affirming spaces for those looking to organize advocacy, speak out from a peer perspective, and amplify their voices change. I'm going to turn it over to Isaiah.
So one of the things that Families Together does is we have the Youth Power membership, and the Youth Power membership is young people's who are aged 12 to 29, who has lived experience, and so that lived experience can be, disability, trauma experience within the system, emotional and behavioral challenges, or experience in the New York State system, such as special education, behavioral health, juvenile justice, foster care, or addiction recovery. But in short, we welcome all young people who have lived experience both with systems and also within their community, whether that's through education or some of our systems of care in New York State. Of course, also, we are a statewide organization, so we welcome young people who reside and lives in the state of New York. And members who turn 30. The great thing about it is we keep a good connection within our Youth Power group, and members who are 30 plus can remain involved with the network as a peer ally slash alumni, which is so helpful. Certainly, as we talk about the Youth Mental Health Advisory Board, which is young leaders 18 and under, who's always looking for mentors and people to learn from, and also for our Youth Leadership Council, which is connected to OMH, as we work together as mentors, peers, and fight for change in New York State. You can go to the next slide.
Okay, do you want to go to the next slide again?
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
Next slide. Okay.
No, there was a
Advocacy and
delay.
leadership.
There was a delay inside of in the presentation, so I kind of got a
Okay.
little sidetracked. But one of the things that
Okay.
Families Together also does is advocacy and leadership. And so I'm part of that network that we're advocating across the state systems for system change, but we're also advocating for legislation and really anything that supports our families and our young people. For the Youth Power Advisory Councils, young people with past or current system involvement, they guide the work for advocacy movements of youth power. So anything that we do is youth led and youth guided. One of our principles is nothing about us without us. We also have the Youth Peer Services Advisory Council, which guides the work of the youth peer advocacy credentialing. And so one of the big things that we do is the credentialing, as we went over in the past slide. And we have a council of youth peers who actually leads the work in our credentialing process. And we're always actively recruiting and engaging members ages 18 to 29. The Youth Leadership Council, which is separate from the Youth Service Advisory Council, is 18 and up, 18 to 29, and we're always looking for young people to accept. The Youth Power Network is huge, and we're always looking for young people to get involved. Another part of what we do is a cross systems advocacy, and so we promote and participate in public forums and listening sessions. We do presentations at conferences, events, and to councils. We have representation on councils all across the state. SNS for the Regional Advisory Committee, the New York State Independent Living Centers, the Transitional Age Youth. All of these systems, we have young people and representatives and family peer advocates who sit in these spaces to represent our young people and our families across the state. And there's a lot of collaboration with the New York State Council on children and family services. And so we continue to advocate for better systems for our young people and our families. We believe that our young people and our families should be at the table and the ones leading the work. As I'm also youth power staff, I'm 22 years old, so I'm pretty still in that group. And so we lead this work, and it's great to be able to be part of the movement. You can go to the next slide. We have our Youth Power Advisory Council, which is statewide, includes young adults 18 to 29. If you want to learn more, you guys can check out this slides presentation, which you guys will receive a copy of. And you can click on that link to see the information about the Youth Power Advisory Council. Next slide. We have the Youth
I
Mental
do
Health Advisory.
apologize for the lag.
Oh yeah, no problem. We have the Youth Mental Health Advisory Board, which is also statewide. Is middle school to high school age children. This is the Youth Mental Health Advisory Board that's connected to the New York State Governor's Office, also the New York State Office of Mental Health. This advisory board is a youth body that provides feedback and provides direction to our OMH and the governor's office, and they're amazing young people. We just had our families together conference a couple weeks ago, and they had their meetings and some of their town halls inside of the conference. And it was so great to see those young people who are 12 to 17 years old advocate and be part of conversations around systems change and change around New York State. You can go to the next slide. We also have our workforce development team, which is the statewide body of credentialing for both youth peer advocates and family peer advocates. Um, for youth peer advocates, there's monthly YPA trainings. There's also supervisor cafes where the young people, the youth peer advisors get to come together and have conversations. We have the credentialing advisory committee, and we have continuous ongoing guidance and trainings for YPAs, which is our youth peer advocates with credentials, and our YPA supervisors. Katerina, you want to talk about the family peer advocates?
Yep. So for our family peer advocates, the FPAs, we do have monthly FPA TA trainings. You can go to the website to get that information. We also have the FPA Lived Experience Cafe, where you can get together and chat online webinars. We have the FPA Supervisor Experience Cafe, FPA Credential Advisory Committee. And we also have the ongoing guidance and trainings for FPAs and FPA supervisors. So when you receive the copy of this slide deck, you'll be able to look at the information for the youth credentialing and the family peer advocate credentialing.
For our
Okay,
youth
and I'll
peer
turn it back to you once the
advocates,
slide catches up.
yep, for our youth peer advocates, some of the requirements for credentialing is lived experience for our provisional credentialing, level one training, which is a training to get the credentialing. It's on our website that you can check out. You have to be 18 to 29 years old with a high school diploma or equivalent. Two letters of recommendations and a statement of lived experience. And then also we have a code of ethics, and that code of ethics is, to make sure that anybody that holds the credentialing is following a ethic code for everybody. We also do the professional credentialing through the youth peer advocacy credentialing, and for that one, you need level 2 online training, both in person or virtual training. Also, a supervisor letter of recommendation, so somebody in your workplace who can recommend you, a documented work experience, 600 hours for YPAs. So I believe you have to get your provisional first. You have to sign the code of ethics also, and you have to be renewed every 2 years. with 20 hours of continuing education to hold the credentialing. So the youth peer advocacy credentialing is serious, and it's something that is to support our young people with their own peers, with their own classmates, with people who understand them. And so it's an amazing opportunity for our young people across the state. Next slide.
So we have the FPA and the YPA credentialing. There is 6 steps to attain a professional credential. That builds off the work completed for the provisional credential, as Isaiah was mentioning earlier. The application process requires the submission of 3 letters of recommendation and written statement of lived experience. Family peer advocates complete 2 levels of online training modules, attend a 4-day live virtual training, and complete 10 weeks of coaching calls where participants use scenarios to practice the Prince's Agents of Change approach, which is very much like motivational interviewing. A commitment to follow our code of ethics and 1,000 hours of direct peer support with families is required to earn the professional credential, which must be renewed every 2 years. And we also have technical assistance. So workforce development also provides technical assistance that includes continued education, webinars, and cafes. This technical assistance helps youth and family peer advocates meet the requirements for recertification. We also hold bi-monthly TA calls for peer advocates and their supervisors. Supervisors and their staff can receive monthly technical assistance through virtual meetings, which might feature a guest speaker or provide space for a group discussion. It also provides networking opportunities and a space for shared learning. We encourage all family serving organizations to have peer advocates, but if they want to receive reimbursement for peer services, peer supervisor need to be credentialed themselves or take the required training to become credentialed. Families Together also hosts a job board for employment opportunities throughout the state for youth and family peers. And back to Isaiah.
Some of the principles that we stand on with the youth peer support after the credentialing is, of course, we always want things to be youth guided. We want to always partner with our young people. We want to promote independent recovery. We provide mentorship. We continue to promote advocacy. We get young people involved in advocacy, get them at tables to be part of conversations and systems change. We continue to keep our minds open to the different cultures that we have across the state. We do our best to make connections with as many young people as possible, and not just connections, but also impacts. And we try to support individuals and push behind strength-based practices. You can go to the next slide. So, what does youth peer support include? There are 5 categories of youth peer support that are Medicaid eligible or billable through children and family treatment support services. And so, earlier I was talking about how important the credentialing is, and this shows some of the importance of the credentialing and the impact that the youth peer advocate credentialing can have and support with our young people. A youth peer advocate is able to offer all 5 categories that are listed below on individual needs for young people. And so, skill building, coaching, engagement, bridging, and transition support, self advocacy, self efficiency, and self empowerment, and community connections and natural supports. And so, we just try to help steer our young people in a way that's holistic to all their needs. Next slide, please.
So we also have principles of family peer support. So this is individualized for the families. It helps make connections. Um, we are respectful, culturally humble. We like to help build skills, increase knowledge. We like to engage families. We are solution focused, strength based, focused on outcomes and success. We broaden the family's horizons, and we are family driven. Family peer support. So, what is family peer support? That is helping parents, caregivers, and family peer advocates, FPAs, learn, discover, and grow. Families Together empowers families to make well-informed family decisions by providing necessary information and resources. It also provides family peer advocates with knowledge enhancement to support parents and caregivers, supporting parents and caregivers through resiliency and empowerment. Family peer advocate. So, family peer advocates can assist with families who have children with behavioral, mental health, substance abuse issues, or any family who is facing challenges within the New York State child servicing systems. FPAs have lived experience, therefore, they are able to build relationships and relate to the caregiver based on their lived experiences. FPAs are someone who can educate, support, and guide families, and they are able to build one-on-one relationships with the caregivers. This makes a huge difference in achieving goals and positive outcomes. FPAs can advocate and bridge the gaps between families and their service providers. An FPA is a crucial role for peer support. They can help caregivers feel less alone and feel more empowered to care for their children while navigating the challenging journey of parenting. Overall, the FPA is a crucial role for support. They can help caregivers feel less alone and feel more empowered to care for their children while navigating the challenge. Oh, I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry. Yeah, challenging journeys of parenting. So that's a good message. Next slide.
Yes. And
So
so,
families together,
oh,
we look,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, families together.
Go ahead.
We run engagement events across the state, and so one of the most recent events that we had was Family Empowerment Day, which is an event that we do every year. But in this most recent year, we had hundreds of families who shown up. Um, one of our record numbers. We also provide a platform to amplify youth voice, and so some of our young people who's in our Youth Power network was able to speak in front of these families and advocate for systems change and legislation that supports our young people. And in the lead up to organizing the event and having the event, we offer trainings and opportunities with our young people and our families on how to best advocate when they have that opportunity to speak in front of those families. Next slide. We also had the Family Together annual conference, which we have every year. And there's always a lot of people there, a lot of providers, a lot of families, a lot of community members. And we open it to everybody: families, youth, providers, community members, system stakeholders, all of that. And the Youth Power, we have a Youth Power organized youth track. It's also called the Youth Speak Out, in which we have young people speak at the conference in front of everybody. On the next slide, you will see our upcoming Families Together events, all the things that's coming up. When you guys get the slides, you can check out the links that's available. And after that, you guys will see in the slide after, you'll see our emails. Please don't be afraid to reach out to us. We want to open up this time to questions if anybody has any.
If you want to put your questions in the chat as well, you can do that.
And there's also a Q&A section if you guys want to do it from there also. If there's not any questions while we wait to see if there's anything that shows up, overall, I just want to say that Families Together is an amazing organization that really centers our youth and family voices. I can come on here as somebody with lived experience with Families Together, both as a young advocate before being hired by the organization, to say that this organization has supported me as a young person, and we continue to do so across the state. I overlook the Youth Leadership Council, which again, we have 35 leaders from across the state who comes together. At our Family Empowerment Day, we had those young people speak at the Youth Speak Out or the Family Empowerment Day speech session. And we just continue to hone in our young people with lived experience and let them know that their voice matters, and that they deserve a future. And not only do they deserve a future, but they deserve a future that they have influence and say in also. And so we stand behind Nothing About Us Without Us. Family Empowerment Day is usually in the beginning of March. So we already had it this year, but we'll be having another Family Empowerment Day soon. Western New York, our youth power meetings in Western New York. Some of our youth power meetings and most of our youth power meetings are online. So just like this Zoom that we have offered right now, we usually do it through there. Um, but we also have events. Yep, we also have events that we host in the regions, and so we may have something around your county. But I'll say check out our website, and all the information will be there. But we also do have the virtual option for everybody to join.
I also wanted to
Thank
quickly
you.
add, I'm just trying to drop resources into the chat. I also wanted to share that there's OMH link coming through. Let's see. Nope, it's not working. I'll get it in there, but they are so it's an application fill out form if anyone that's interested. I also dropped a link to Native American Services for the Office of Children and Family Services. Any information on it, if you need to know if a child that you're working with is involved with CPS and needs to find out if they're eligible for enrollment or if they are enrolled. Any information on trainings, anything to do with Native American ICWA, don't hesitate to reach out. I work with Heather LaForme. And also resources for the families together is in there as well. So you can just click that link now if you want to navigate through the Families Together homepage and just see our brochures and everything that we have to offer. And if you just give me a moment, I am going to, and then these resources I'm putting in, they're also in the links that we're sending to you. But I just want to make sure you can start browsing now.
So
And anything else that Isaiah? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, just overall, we want to say thank you guys for joining the meeting. Do you mind sharing? I know you're sending the links, but do you mind putting up our emails one more time, just in case
Yeah,
somebody
let
wants
me.
to reach out to us? And also, Kateri, there was a question about what is the cost of the family peer advocate credentialing?
I'm just trying to multitask. Get this up for them. Can you guys, everyone see our information?
Yep.
Okay. And let me just see what was the question again? I'm just trying to find the
The question
chat.
was what is the cost of the family peer advocate credentialing?
The cost of, I had went through it and let me find out. 1 second. I didn't look at that. I went through it, but because I am a Families Together, there was no cost. I can double check that. If you want to drop uh your information in the chat, let's see. $2,000 is the cost. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Thank
I
you.
will
Thank
send
you,
the
Dana.
information over when we include the information. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm just trying to navigate different screens. But there was no cost for myself, so I will definitely get that over to you all. I will send it to the New York State Kinship Navigator.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll get you the
Okay,
solidified
perfect. I got
information.
yours.
But
Yeah.
thank you guys so much. Thank you, Kinship Navigator, for hosting this event and inviting us here. Thank you.
And thank you so much for your presentation. And again,
Thank you.
everybody who's registered will get a link for the video and the recording and also the PowerPoint presentation. All right. Any other questions real quick? It is 12:30. No? Okay. Thank you again to Isaiah and Kateri. And we're going to wrap up for today.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.